Welcome everyone to episode 5 of my Minecraft World Update series. And Happy New Year's everyone! I hope you all are starting off the New Year's right. I am, for I have a new skin! This skin was made by my sister, who goes by the name of SassyCat143 here on YouTube, and I really wanted to get a new skin because my old one it looked really not all that good, and I wanted something that really captured that essence of what I'm doing here and of being a sort of builder and I guess sort of like almost a technical Minecrafter. I'm kind of getting into the more technical side of the game as more time goes on. For reference, this is my previous Minecraft skin, and as you can see, it's fairly basic. It's honestly just someone else's skin with a custom head texture. And if you want to go even farther back, my first ever custom Minecraft skin, oh yeah, that looks really, really bad. And if I actually turn off all the other layers, this skin actually does have a pretty good casual look to it. Although, admittedly, I do very much prefer to have all of these layers on. Everything looks so much better that way. Like, oh my goodness, I really like this skin. I feel like finally, and for the first time ever in this game, I have a skin that really truly feels like me. Anyways, I hope you did enjoy the time lapse. As you can see, here at the base, all the old towers have been taken down. I don't have anything new to show as for what the new design will be. I'm still working on that on and off on the side, but there are some things in the base I would like to give an update to, specifically the farms. Over here at the Melon pumpkin farm, I have had an issue with the unloading system in that one time I came back here and found the minecart was stuck in the unloader and hadn't gotten sent back off. And my only guess is maybe it came in here, it unloaded it, and then all of a sudden I left the area enough to where this chunk that it's in became a lazy chunk, and because it's a lazy chunk, entities don't get processed, and therefore it was never sent off. And as you can see, the default state of the gate is closed, so yeah, I do gotta come up with a way to fix that in the future, I suppose. Right now it's only a minor annoyance, and it hasn't really been that common for me. And you can see I've gotten a whole bunch of pumpkin and a whole bunch of melon blocks so far, and this vein is filling up right now. I've recently crafted and pulled stuff out of there. As much as I wish that I could say the only minecart issue I've had is with the Melon pumpkin farm, it has not been. As expected, and the minecarts have been glitching out and duplicating at the new creeper farm, and they have also been doing quite a bit more over here at the slime farm, which admittedly this farm at this point has probably collected nearly 1 million slime balls, so maybe I shouldn't be complaining too much, and that sometimes I have to go over here and do some manual labor, but I don't know, at this point, you know, I'm thinking maybe when it eventually updating to 1.13, because we haven't updated yet, of maybe changing this farm design, going for some sort of different system where it won't break and I don't have to touch it. Because as I build more and more farms in the world, I'd rather not have to constantly keep up and maintain them. And yes, as I've said, and we have not updated to 1.13 yet, still on 1.12.2, and that is because Forge and ReplayMod, which are of course critical to making the time lapses you see at the beginning of every one of these episodes, have not been updated to 1.13 yet, so I'm really just waiting on that at this time. Now, if you were paying attention during the time lapse, you would have seen that I have built a slime block and a TNT tunnel bore machine. So, actually, let's go over and check it out right now. And here we are at the TNT tunnel bore machine. Now, this thing is the design that ilmango has showcased. It's for Minecraft version 1.12. For those watching, and a lot of you probably already 1.13 or later, it will not work in those versions. It's been broken in 1.13 since Mojang has been cracking down on fixing TNT duping and such. which they've had some success with, but this machine's broken anyways and bad. So, this is ilmango's diamond mining machine, and I am using it strictly for the purpose of actually mining diamonds and other valuable resources such as emerald ore, not the emerald itself, but the actual ore block, and of course lapis. So getting my hands on all the uncommon renewable resources before I eventually update to 1.13 and building a machine like this is not an option. So let's go ahead and demo here the machine. In order to activate it on both sides, since it has these little activations, I just gotta flip the fence gate and we can watch it as it launches the TNT into the holders, launches it forward, big little lag spike, and there we go. It mines out a bunch of blocks, exposing a whole bunch of blocks, so I just go down here, run down here and find, there's there's lapis. Find that, there's lapis there I want, so I stop and get that and such, or there's diamond and such. So this is what I've been doing in order to stock up on these non-renewable resources. These resources you cannot, farm. Emerald you can farm, but not the emerald ore. Of course, you can't farm really any of the ores. It's all manual labor in order to get it. But yeah, I get down here to the end. I can go ahead and activate the machine again. And basically just go back and forth and run this machine little by little. And, we got a mine shaft here. What do we got in here? Nothing of interest, it looks like. But yeah, I just go ahead and fly back and forth here, looking for any sort of valuable resources that I want to keep. And that right there is all I really have to say about the machine. If you want to see how it works and see a tutorial by it, I'll link in the video description to ilmango's video. Just keep in mind, this is a 1.12 contraption. It's not going to work in the newer versions of Minecraft. So, but if you want to check it out, you can. I particularly built this unit into about 10 chunks wide, which is a good size. And if I could have gone bigger, and there is benefits to going a bit bigger and such, in that you don't have to activate the machine as often. But yeah, anyways, now I would like to actually show you what kind of loot I have collected thanks to this thing thus far. And I want you to take note of my Z coordinates on the F3 screen as we go all the way back to where I launched this machine originally. And here we are all the way back where I had originally launched the machine. I have ran this thing nearly 3,000 blocks. For those paying attention to the Z coordinates, yes, I've ran this thing that far. I am indeed a crazy person. And for it, I have gotten a decent amount of loot, some coal ore, and I didn't really bother collecting the coal and iron for long. I got a fair amount of gold, some redstone, especially because, the ore blocks, I'd like to have those, and some redstone dusts, and that's been turned into blocks for, building redstone contraptions to hold me over till I eventually make a witch farm. And then, of course, I got lapis, and a lot of it in its ore form, and just a lot of it's in its block form. And here's the big one, diamonds. Yes, yes, yes! Do I need a shulker box full of diamond ore? No, but I sure as heck want it, and I now have it. Oh, and nearly a shulker box full of, loose diamonds. I guess that's nice too. So, And these are the emeralds I have collected so far from running into, extreme hills biomes down here. Now, I know there is a burning question that all of you must have right now. Where are the mobs? There are no mobs spawning around here. Over at the machine, completely dark, absolutely no mobs. Well, you see, a machine like this is very sensitive. A really badly placed creeper can really ruin your day. So, I had to build something to get around that. And that something is a peaceful overworld mob switch built in my spawn. It takes advantage of soaring hostile mobs inside lazy chunks, so that way they count towards the mob cap but aren't processed, therefore cannot despawn. Now there are a lot of caveats and quirks to doing this, and if you're actually interested in knowing how this works, I suggest you go ahead and watch a video by gnembon. He did a very good video on how to disable mob spawning in your world using hostile mobs. So yeah, links in the description. I'm not going to explain it. I suggest you go check it out right there. And now the star of the show itself, my Nether perimeter, with bedrock ceiling removed as well, all the way down. This area here is a 162 block by 162 block area centered on a 4x4 block area. If you can see, I believe it's centered, yeah, to right about there, those four corners of those blocks down there. I do got one piece of bedrock here that I'm keeping here as sort of a monument to the massive removal of all this bedrock. It took a good, according to the ReplayMod recordings, I spent a collective 36 hours removing all this bedrock. Wow, I am never doing that again. It took so much time. And now my Nether perimeter is in pretty good shape for building a farm. I still do have to slab out the outside, and I am going to be doing that because it's just too much work and to go ahead and tear out all of this area out, maybe another 64 or 128 blocks out, and here in the Nether, it's just cheaper and easier to slab it. Now, when it comes to building a farm, this one right here, and by Beast on YouTube, is mighty impressive. It uses a total number of 64 gasks to sweep into all the mobs that fall down from these very conventional spawning platforms to a central location for a rate of up to 6.5 Wither Excelting Souls per minute. 6.5! What would I do with 6.5 Excelting Souls per minute? I don't know what I'd do with that. Maybe it's overkill. But anyways, this is an amazing farm design. I'll have a link in the description to the tutorial for it. I suggest you check it out if you're interested. This is for 1.13 right here. So, presumably the same design would work in 1.12, but I haven't tested it, nor do I really care, because I am looking towards the future when it comes to going to 1.13 at some point. Not in this episode, maybe I would like to say the next, but you never know. Still waiting on Forge and ReplayMod. Anyways, for as amazing as this farm is, I do have one issue with it. Its performance. No, not the souls per minute or the drops, it's amazing, but I'm talking about client performance. If we look here at the FPS count, I'm in a mostly void Nether here. Looking at this farm, 50 FPS average, and the lows are down into the 30s. What if I look away? Oh boy, look at that average frame rate jump up, and even the minimums. And this is really because there's 64 gasks, and in turn, 64 minecarts to house the gasks, and that's a lot of entities. So I really like the farm concept, and I think we should go ahead and build something like this, but preferably that uses less gasks and such, so it would be easier on server performance. And also, I don't know how much of this is due to having all the gasks on this farm, but if we also take a look at the milliseconds it's taking to process each tick, it's taking upwards of 30, sometimes spiking to 40 milliseconds to process a tick. By the way, if you want to keep the internal server lag free, you need to keep that at 50 milliseconds per tick or lower. So, it's by no means going to lag the single player game, but it does seem kind of up there in terms of being demanding on the internal server. but I really do like the farm design, so I'll probably make something with the same concept, just with fewer gasks, maybe 32 gasks, and then that would mean a total amount of entities of 64 between the gasks and minecarts. I'll also briefly touch on the system I use for Bedrock Removal. It isn't fancy, and it requires you to place down the dragon eggs manually and actively be doing it, and basically it just works by placing down these dragon eggs on top of these sort of swipers, and when one gets pushed forward, it pushes forward the next and the next and the next, and I got this hooked up to a lazy chunk detector. If you don't know what any of this stuff means, I recommend going ahead and doing some Google searches and looking some stuff up on YouTube when it comes down to breaking bedrock using dragon eggs. I'm not going to go into much depth because, well, 1.13 and got rid of breaking bedrock with dragon eggs, but I'll give this thing a quick demo. So that's where our position right now. We already have this thing loaded, so I'm going to go ahead and arm it. Make sure there's redstone there. Bam. So when this minecart enters when this chunk becomes a lazy chunk, the minecart will stop pressing down the pressure plate, therefore the signal will stop going out and the torch will invert it and it will push the whole thing forward. And because the dragon eggs are in lazy chunks, and because dragon eggs for some reason fall differently to that as other entities such as sand, other block entities such as sand, they'll remove the bedrock. Like I said, it's been removed in 1.13, but it is pretty interesting of a system. So we can go ahead back here in order to demo it, and it has to be like right. We'll see it when it happens. So wait for it. I probably should be putting on 16 chunks, should I? Because then that makes the trip back and forth a pain. Up, there we go. Does that. Give it a moment for it to activate. Then come back forward. And you'll see the dragon eggs are gone. Where did they go? What did they do? And as you can see, the machine has moved forward by one, dropping the dragon eggs, breaking into 5 slices of bedrock into each of the 5 levels. So, fairly basic machine, and honestly, these swipers, I can't even take credit for them. I pulled them from another bedrock breaking machine that was honestly a little bit more involved than what you see here. But when I want to go ahead and prime it to do the next, I just simply go ahead, get dragon eggs, and put them on top of here. And then I'd be ready to go again. Making this episode has been a lesson for me, and what really works and what really doesn't. For the last 5 or 6 episodes, if you want to count episode 0, the style of the mega video, where I try to do multiple things in one video and in a long form video that's typically like about a half hour, I don't think really works that well, because then I can't give a lot of screen time and talking time to things that I would like to talk about without drawing the video out very long. And guys, I know what it's like. Like, I see a half-hour long video and I go, I'm just gonna go watch this 10-minute video. And I'm watching 3 10-minute videos. So, going forward, I do want to make shorter, more focused, and more importantly, more frequent World Update episodes. And on another note, I want to take the time to recognize that my most recent Team Fortress 2 clip montage has been doing very well for me, like above normal for what a typical video does in terms of views and especially audience retention. So I am definitely taking notes and going to evolve my style throughout 2019. And when it comes to content, more of this with World Update, definitely more of those TF2 clip montages, because I really do like doing those as well. Anything I like doing, I will do. But in addition, I do want to do some other stuff. I have recently gotten a 3D printer, and I think I could, and I'd really like to do some projects with that and perhaps some videos, and really branch out into anything sort of creative like work. I know that TF2 content doesn't necessarily fall in that category, but I like building stuff. I like doing these kind of things. And, you know, you can build stuff without it being in Minecraft. So, yeah. And one more thing I'd like to drop a mention, Hightail. If you haven't heard of the name, if you haven't heard of the game, look it up. It looks very interesting. From the creators of the Hypixel Minecraft server is their own entry into the block game genre, and it looks very interesting. I wouldn't call it a Minecraft killer. I don't think Minecraft's gonna die to Hytale, but I think it's an interesting take on the block building or block game genre, at least from what we have so far with that sort of teaser trailer. So definitely go look that up, and it's interesting, and it's definitely worth keeping a tab on. Anyways, that'll be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and here's to a wonderful, wonderful new year. See y'all. Bye.